What is going on, Tribe? Today is part 3 of 100 games in 40 days and how to deal with it series. Today we're going to look at new manager bounce and if there are any cheap assets who can be rotated. If we're talking about any cheap assets who can be rotated in your squad. This is the last episode of the series. Is the new manager bounce a real concept? How have previous managers really fared who have taken up a new assignment? Let's find out. These are the 5 new managers who have taken up new assignments in the Premier League. None of them are new apart from Steven Gerrard. Now he's an exciting face for the Aston Villa fans as well as neutral fans across the Premier League. Now let's take a look at a few stats about new managers. Now, there have been 26 sackings in total since 2017-18 season. So we are just talking about the last 4 full seasons, and this data does not include this season's sacking. 26 sackings in total in the last 4 seasons. That's an average of 6.5 sackings per season. Out of these 26 sackings, there have been 20 cases where whenever the new manager has come in, there have been 20 cases where in the first 5 games of the new manager, he has been able to get more points per match as compared to the average points per match for that team for the season. So it's been 20 out of 26 cases. 9 out of these 26 cases, the new manager have been instantly able to have a super impact. Now, on these 9 occasions, he has been able to double the previous points per match average, or even better than that. Now, there have been a few stats. You'll be wondering, 26 sackings in total. There have been only 20 times or 20 cases or 20 instances where the managers have done well in terms of getting a higher average as in points per match as compared to what the predecessor had done. Now, would like to know which are the 6 other managers who have not been able to do so? There have been a few surprising names here as well. The first one being David Moyes. 17-18, he took care of West Ham when West Ham was fighting relegation. After that came Alan Pardew in the same season when he took over West Brom in the middle of the season, and I think he was sacked after a few games in charge. Then was Mark Hughes in the same season again when he took care of Southampton, where the average points per match when he took over Southampton was higher as compared to what he was able to deliver in the next 5 games. Other examples, across the last 4 seasons, have been the most stalking one has been Scott Parker when he took over Fulham. I think Fulham was fighting relegation. Average of the season for them, points per match was 0.6, and in the next 5 games, he hardly could get a point for Fulham, and they got relegated. Other examples have been one of the managers who's now doing well is Mikel Arteta. He took over Arsenal in 19-20 season. The average points per match was 1.3, and I think once after he took over, the number marginally dropped to 1.2. So that is what the stat has been till now. Let's take a look ahead on one of the new managers who has joined in, Eddie Howe, and he is not new to Premier League. He has managed Bournemouth, where he used to be a defender himself. He managed Bournemouth for 8 consecutive seasons, if I'm not wrong, 2012 to 2020. Out of that 4 seasons, he was taking care of them in Championship as well as League One, and from 15-16 to 19-20. He really managed Bournemouth pretty well in the Premier League. Now, the reason we are speaking about Eddie Howe is because how well he wants to attack, and it's not anymore a hidden fact. In the 18-19 season for Bournemouth, it actually showcased the attacking intent of Eddie Howe, and it was actually Callum Wilson's best statistical season in the Premier League as well. He managed 14 goals, 12 assists in spite of playing that season with missing a few games in that season with injury as well. Howie usually loves to employ a standard 4-4-2 formation with a possession-based system, which I think mostly focuses on winning the ball quickly and dictating play. So you would typically see a lot of possession-based football from Eddie Howe's teams. One thing he has not really taken care of, or where he's lacked in the past 5 seasons in Premier League, has been his defensive stats. What we're going to focus here is about his attacking stats. If you see 14 or 15-16 season when he got Bournemouth into Premier League, they scored 45 goals. They were the 12th best attacking team in the league. 16-17 season, the number of goals went up sharply, 55 goals, and they were the 7th best team in terms of attacking ability, apart from outside the top big six, so-called big six teams. 17-18 season, 45 goals again. They were still the 10th best in the league. 18-19 season, which I just mentioned, about where Callum Wilson had a stellar season. Bournemouth scored the highest goals under Eddie Howe, which was on 56 goals, and they were the 7th best attacking team. Unfortunately, 1920, in the season of 1920, Bournemouth got relegated. Eddie Howe could not really, save Bournemouth from relegation, and in spite of getting relegated, his team scored 40 goals, which was still the 14th best attacking team in the league. Now, I kind of did some research in terms of the relegation teams and how bad or good they are in terms of attacking abilities. The last relegated team which did well, or which scored higher than 40 goals, was funnily Newcastle in 2015-2016. They scored 44 goals and they finished 18th. We spoke about the fixtures in the beginning of the segment, where we were talking about points per match scored by the team under few managers. Let's take a look at how these new managers are going to face their first 5 fixtures and how much of a new manager bounce we're going to see. So this is Newcastle United's fixtures. This is as per we're going to see all the 5 teams' fixtures going forward. Newcastle fixtures look extremely attractive. Brentford home, they still are the 6th best defensive team in the league. But lately their numbers have fallen off the cliff. Their goalkeeper has got injured along with a couple of defenders, and they have leaked quite a few goals in the last 2-3 games. Arsenal away. Arsenal is in a good way in the last 4 to 5 game weeks. Having said that, they still are number 14 in terms of the best defensive team in the league so far. Norwich home, Burnley home are the 3rd and 4th fixtures. They are in the bottom 3 as far as the defensive stats are concerned. Leicester away is their 5th game, where Leicester hasn't really been doing hasn't been doing well defensively as well. They only have kept 1 clean sheet in 11 game weeks this season, and that clean sheet came in the first game of the season against Wolves. So if somebody wants to get on with Newcastle assets, I think, and adding the whole story of how Eddie Howe loves to attack. He has had 2 weeks with the team because of the international break. The only question is whether they're going to start. His players are going to start hitting the ground from day one, which is on Saturday, and they play against Brentford, who have looked shaky instead. So Callum Wilson, Saint Maxim, and other assets, managers should keep an eye on. We'll get on with Tottenham Hotspur's fixtures now. They have the best fixtures going forward, not just for the next 5 game weeks, but for the next 10 game weeks till the New Year's. They play Leeds home, which is a game this weekend. It's not a anymore a hidden fact that Leeds defense is not doing well this season. Burnley away again, like I mentioned, they are in the bottom 3 of as far as the defensive record is concerned this season. Brentford home, Norwich home. Again, Norwich home is number 19 in terms of their XGC, and Brighton away. Brighton away is still, they're doing well defensively. I think they're at number 5, spot above Brentford. So that fixture would be a good test for Conte. But having said that, again, Spurs assets, if somebody looking at, this is the time to get, on that bandwagon, be it Son, be it Kane, depending on your structure of your team. Also, you can look at their cheap defensive assets as well. For a team managed by Conte, their defensive assets are quite cheap in terms of Reguilon at 5 million. You have Emerson Royal at 4.9, and then you have Christian Romero at 4.8, if I'm not wrong. Getting into the Norwich City's fixtures now. Dean Smith, now after being sacked by Aston Villa right after game week 11, has now been roped in by Norwich City, and I think they were quite. The Norwich City management did a good job in getting Dean Smith, experienced English manager, though he has had championship experience as well. He did well, on most of the fronts with Aston Villa last season. Obviously, they lost Jack Grealish in the beginning of the season to Man City, got loads of money. I think they spent the money not too badly. It was just that the money that they spent on the assets were injured, and I think Dean Smith had lost the management's faith, and he had lost 5 games in a row against Aston Villa. So he's got this new assignment. They start with Southampton home on the weekend. Southampton has looked solid at the back, so it's not going to be easy for Dean Smith. They play Wolves in the next game, who are also in top 10 as far as the XGC is concerned for the first 11 game weeks. Newcastle away, they anyways have been poor in terms of defensive record, and having seen Eddie Howe's record defensively in the last 5-6 seasons, they on an average, Eddie Howe's team have conceded more than 60 goals in a season. So this is a game where Dean Smith can look at getting 3 points, if not 1. Then they get into little tough fixtures, a couple of fixtures that they have: Tottenham away and Manchester United home. So I would think that Dean Smith in the first 3 games would like to get, out of the 9 points, he would love to get around 4 to 5 points. At least, to get some momentum going for Norwich City, because when he took over, they had just scored the first 3 points of the season. Getting on to Aston Villa, which will be managed by Steven Gerrard now. He comes straight from Rangers, from the Scottish Premier League. He made them win the league title after 10 years, after a big gap of 10 years. He starts straight away against Brighton home, Crystal Palace away. These are the 2 games where he would love to get some points on board. Aston Villa is not currently in the bottom 3, but they are somewhere around that. They are on, I think, 14th or 15th position. They have some good players. The team is pretty good. They have one of the best youth programs, development programs in the country. And like I said 3-4 minutes back, that they have done some decent signings, good players. They have a striker duo of Watkins and Ings, so it'll be interesting to see how he uses them. I think Gerrard also loves to play, he wants his wing backs to bomb forward. So we will have to see how he uses Matty Cash, and and a few other players. So it'll be exciting time for Aston Villa fans, but the first two games will be critical. And if there was to be any new manager bounce, it has to be these two games, because then Aston Villa plays City, Leicester, and a big game against Liverpool at Anfield. That'll be some game for Steven Gerrard. We now see Watford's fixtures. These are the worst fixtures among these five teams. Claudio Ranieri took over Watford at the worst possible time. His first game was against Liverpool, and they were thrashed 5-0. They somehow managed to beat Everton 5-2, so which they got 3 points, but they still haven't got any other point apart from that Everton win. So the next game is Manchester United home, Leicester away, Chelsea home, City home, Brentford away. So the next four fixtures, if Watford can manage to sneak in 2 or 3 points from somewhere, they can then have that confidence and go and play against Brentford and try to see how they can cope up with that match and take the season from there on. Let's take a look at the rotation factor now. This we have taken an example. Today we have taken two examples. One is for rotation between cheap defenders, and this is the example right in front of you. Crystal Palace and Brentford. Crystal Palace is the third best defensive unit for the season as of now, and Brentford is at number 4. From game week 12 to game week 20, you can see the kind of rotation we can have. Crystal Palace, in terms of defenders, they have Mitchell, who is at 4.5, and for Brentford, there are a couple of defenders who have risen to 4.7, the likes of Pinnock and Janssen, but they also have a 4.5 defender in Henry, who scored a goal last game as well. So if you see the rotation, just concentrating on the games that they can play: Burnley away, Everton home, Leeds away again, Watford home, Southampton home, Watford away, Brighton away, Norwich home. Now this is a run of 9 fixtures, and if you see, there is Burnley, Leeds, Watford, and Norwich. So out of these 9 games, there are 6 games against the defensive units whose record is in the bottom 5 for the season in terms of expected goals conceded. The other 3, obviously Everton home for Brentford, could be a tough one, but Everton, they're still not sure when DCL is going to be back. Richarlison is just 1 yellow card away from missing a game, and we all know about his temperament. Then the game is against Southampton home for Crystal Palace. I won't be surprised if Crystal Palace will keep a clean sheet, because Southampton, attacking wise, the numbers are not that impressive. And the third game, which could be a tough one for Brentford, is Brighton away. So out of the 9 fixtures here, 6 fixtures are against the worst 5 defenses of the league for this season. We take a look at another example as far as rotation is concerned, and this is between Brighton and West Ham. This is not for defenders. This is primarily for budget midfielders. Obviously for Brighton, I'm talking about TROSSARD, and from West Ham's perspective, I'm talking about Jarrod Bowen. Now, TROSSARD is around 6.5, and I think Jarrod Bowen is around 6.4, 6.5. I'm not sure. So 2 attacking midfielders, if you could have them in your team with a budget of around 13 to 13.2 million. If you look at the rotation, West Ham starting Bowen playing against Wolves away, then Brighton, Leeds home, Bowen against Brighton home, which is a game which these 2 players are gonna play against each other. Then TROSSARD plays Southampton away. Southampton at home has been solid defensively, but Brighton attack-wise has also looked good. West Ham then play Burnley away, so Bowen can do well there. Burnley is number 18 as far as the XGC is concerned. Then TROSSARD plays Wolves at home, and then the last three fixtures are just too good to be ignored. Jared Bowen playing against Norwich, Southampton, and Watford, all at home. Now, you could argue that why can't we just have Jared Bowen straight away into our team and not rotate, because his numbers for the last 8 to 9 game weeks have been stellar. Now, the reason we can't do that, or I would not advise you to do that, is because game week 13 and 15, where I suggest you get TROSSARD in, are the game weeks where West Ham is playing City and Chelsea. I think they're playing them away and home, between both of them. So, West Ham has proven everybody wrong by being fixture proof, and they have been scoring at Merry this season. The game against Liverpool was just astonishing how well they played attacking wise. So it could, your argument might hold true as well, but it's just that the idea of rotation is, how do we really optimize the returns from two particular assets? Because Brighton, when Jared Bowen is playing, Brighton also has tough fixtures as well.
There you have it. End of the 3-episode series where we tried our best to navigate the managers, how to really manage 100 games in the next 40 days. We covered 6 factors in total, and I really hope that it made some sense and we could provide some value add. We could be found at FPL TRYBE. That's the YouTube channel name, wherein we have started working and started putting our videos and trying some sense out of it all, and we can be found at FPL TRYBE on Twitter as well. Many more videos to come in the future. As we all know, we are entering a frenetic season, and we would be coming out with different kind of videos from next week on, a theme for every day, almost every day, and we will see you guys soon.